Get back to work because that's just the kind of guy I am. Tomas Manglona, live from Saipan quarantine. Yeah, quarantine, guys, it's a thing. You know, when you want to kind of stave off positive cases in the community and maybe also have an effect on transmission of the virus and people getting sick and dying, you do what's called a quarantine facility. And so everyone who comes into a place, they do what 5 days or whatever the government decides. And so Tomas is actually in a quarantine facility in the CNMI. And if you look at the CNMI numbers, which are pretty low, it's good to see you in that quarantine. It works, Tomas. So good morning.
Good morning. Yes, just on the tail end of it. Hopefully tomorrow testing negative and will be released. As we shared in our newscast, there is a special election happening, and we're going to cover that in a lot more here in the coming days. But I guess we could share a little bit of our daily question responses that we got from the other day. Chris and Bree, we asked about, if folks recall, our Tyler Metanani reporting on some of the efforts happening with the recruitment for more foster families. I believe the goal in Christmas is to get around 19 families. And so we asked folks for whether or not they would participate in the mayor's campaign to recruit more foster parents, why or why not. We got some really meaningful and engaged responses over our Facebook audience. Gabrielle writing, this is a great idea, but there needs to be critical self-reflection on why many foster families chose not to foster once licensing expires, why social worker retention is so low, and why so many cases are still open 2 to 3 years after initial removal. This commenter continues to write, the issue isn't only that we need more foster families, Gov Guam needs to get their act together, they say. Nelly writing on Facebook, praying for awesome, caring, and loving family environment for these beautiful children, with heart emojis there. Another commenter on Facebook writing that they'd love to, this person saying, if I was more financially stable, I'm a single mom in my late 20s with a 6-year-old, so I still have a lot on my plate. And this last comment we'll share with you today, kudos to the Mayor's Council, and those involved. Writing there, it takes a village. Yesterday's daily question again, would you participate in the Mayor's campaign to recruit more foster parents? And today we'll have another daily question up around 10 a.m. and sharing, and if you missed that, we'll have more on prime time. So lots of meaningful responses there that we got from our audience on social media.
Tomas, great reporting you did on the CNMI special election.
Yeah, so Precinct 3 is one of the largest precincts here on Saipan, and over 3,500 registered voters. Early voting began last Saturday, and polls close this Saturday. And yeah, we'll see. We're seeing a lot in many ways. This special election might be foreshadowing to what will happen in the gubernatorial election. While both candidates said look beyond party lines, we can't help but see party lines as they're running under the Democratic and Republican banners. And so we'll see. I'll just looking at some of the comments and reactions to her story, and obviously Congressman Kilili supporting the Democrat candidate Karina Magofnia, and current Governor Ralph Torres supporting the Republican candidate Grace Sablan Villanueva. And so we'll see what happens. We'll bring you the latest there, and a lot more in terms of just all that's happening up in the CNMI related to the pandemic, related to economic recovery, and related to what life is like now, given all of the protocols that are in place for all arriving travelers and expanding travel bubbles. So much happening up here.
Is this anticipated to be a really close election?
I think it is. I think people. I don't know. You know, depending on which camp you're in, I think you expect your person to win, and so we'll bring you the latest results as they're tallied on Saturday. So we'll have that for you. And again, right, this is between 2 different candidates for the seat that is vacant after the passing of the late Representative Ivan Blanco, which we also reported on.
Is there something at stake, Tomas, here? Like, is there a majority at stake with the seat hanging on the balance?
Yeah, right now, yeah. So, right, this is kind of one of the first times you've had a strong contingent of the Democratic slate in the lower house, in the House of Representatives, because in the CNMI there's the Senate and then the House of Representatives. And so this will decide a few things. Of course, the term, right, as Karina Magofnia was sharing with me yesterday, this is completing the term, and so it's just for the next year or less than a year, I guess, at this point until the next election. But still a lot on the plate, as we know. The House legislative probe is still ongoing, and even beyond that, all of the legislation that's being proposed, and with the budget just being passed and all things like that, setting the legislative agenda is definitely one of the main priorities for each party. And this is, deciding in essentially a split delegation.
Well, Tomas, thank you so much. And good
yeah,
luck.
and I think I did want to share in all of the news that is happening a bit of the Rota Fiesta that happened over the weekend. I'm not sure if we have that ready to go, but
Hold on.
Yeah, but I thought it would be nice amid all the news and things that folks are going through to take a look up at my home island and see some of the things that are being celebrated there in terms of the Besita Luta Fiesta.
Okay, and just to be clear, guys, this is not old footage. This is some of that new. It's Tomas.
And of course, this was shared by the CNMI Governor's Office.
Okay, so we're going to play this now. Besita Luta. Before we get to this interview,